Well, since I don't have $1,000 for a statue, for a figure, just let me admire the pictures for a second. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Steven Wright here with your weekly figure news fix. For this week, it would be between 29th January to 3rd of February 2023. And this week is even heavier than last week, you see. Last week I said there were a lot of figures to cover. Well, this week it is worse. Okay, so without wasting any further time, let's jump into Hobby Link Japan. And as usual, we'll stop by Ami and Ninin Game for some exclusive items before moving on to third priorities over on OzGK. Okay, for the genuine figures this week, we have a lot of great stuff. Okay, we'll start off with two 1x4 skills by Freeing. The first one here, Kirino Kosaka Bunny version from Oreimo. Is this version 2? Because I don't think that Freeing has never made a 1x4 skill of Kirino after more than 10 years the anime ad, which was very popular. Like, it was one of the trending anime back then, right? Back in the early 2010s, 2012, 2013. I believe there is an older version of her figure. Could be wrong, of course. And this one going for 32,000 yen, assuming that it is a new figure, not a re-release. Yeah, 32k is quite low for the standards of a Freeing. And I know I shouldn't be saying that because who wants to pay 40,000 yen for a 1x4 scale? I don't think anyone wants that. So to see this one going for 32k, either the license is a lot cheaper or this thing is costing a lot less to manufacture. Gokoguri has not shown up yet, presumably next week. But the face on this Gokoguri figure, I'm not sure if I'm liking it. It doesn't look like her that much. Yeah. Of course, I like Guri a lot more than Kirino. Kirino is so insufferable. If I have to be honest, I don't like her at all. And to those of you who really love tsundere characters, you might be a closet masochist, who knows, because you enjoy being verbally abused and even physically sometimes. Yeah, so I do think, try to think about it, right? Tsundere girls, they treat you badly as a way of showing affection, or they are just feeling too embarrassed to show affection. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, 1x4 scale B-style Azalane Drake. Moving on to the next one, we have Drake from Azalane. Okay, 30,000 yen. Yeah, this one at 1x4 scale, 30k for a new release. I'm not surprised because this is just a swimsuit figure, a bikini figure. Like, there is nothing much going on. So I'm not surprised this thing is quite cheap at 1x4 scale. Not to mention, right, this kind of sitting on the floor pose figures, they are quite small. Regardless of whether it is 1x6, 1x4 or any other scale, they look smaller than those that are standing, right? In general, I do not like them, but at the same time, I won't tell you don't buy any at all. Like, you need to mix up the stuff you buy for more variety in your collection, right? Moving on to the next one, this is one of my favorites this week. I think my prediction last week when Alta's version of Sandwich went on pre-order, I said Elegance version is coming up next, maybe next week, and I was spot on. So this version by Elegant is going for only 18,000 yen. Yeah, in a way, this is cheaper than what Alta is offering, because Alta's version, which I already said was very cheap at 21,000, 22,000 yen at 1x7. Yeah, this one, Elegant manages to undercut Alta by another 3,000 to 4,000 yen, which may be a lot to some of you, right? For me, 3,000 to 4,000 yen is not a big amount, especially for scale figures. Yeah. Once again, I need to ask myself, which one do I prefer, Alta version or this version? I think now that I've seen product pictures of this figure of Sandwich, I'm leaning towards Alta's version a bit more in terms of my preference. Like, I think that both are great for photography, don't get me wrong. As a figure photographer, I would love to photograph these two figures in dioramas in a studio. But yeah, I'm liking Alta's version a bit more. I'm not sure how to describe it. Like, Alta's version has a bit more of that refinement. Like, you can tell just by looking at these product pictures, right? Well, even if I don't buy them, I hope that I get to photograph them one day. Moving on to the next one, another Azalane figure, Rodney Immaculate Beauty version by Alpha Max, coming out in September for 24,000 yen. That is quite fast for a Japanese figure brand to roll out something. I know that Kotobukiya is quite quick. Kotobukiya is fast, but to see Alpha Max releasing something 7 months after pre-order, yeah, that is pretty quick. Okay, Alpha Max is mostly known for their high quality, like really good quality etchy figures under their Skytube branding. They are mostly 1/6 scale. They are not too expensive. They average 25k to 30k. I rarely see a Skytube figure over 30k. But at the same time, why is Alpha Max doing Azalane figures now? Because Azalane is the solution to all financial problems. Okay, you see Daiki Kogyo, right? They also did etchy figures most of the time, and then suddenly they are making Azalane figures as well. And we are seeing the very same pattern happen to Alpha Max over here, baby. This is a quick cash grab. Like, your etchy figures are not selling in big numbers because they are really niche items, you know? So you need something that is a money printer. What else can you ask for from Azalane? Like, you just go for Azalane, you can't go wrong, right? For this one, like, it feels overdone. There has been so many Azalane figures nowadays going for this Chinese culture, Chinese architecture theme over here. I feel like I'm looking at something by Apex or not Mythos, something like that. Doesn't look like an Alpha Max figure at all to me. Yeah, this is like very out of character because they need moolah, money. Good looking figure, and if you were to ask me, should I pre-order a figure by Alpha Max? Yes, of course. If you like her, proceed. Moving on to the next figure, Kadokawa's Kurumi Tokisaki. Like, how many figures of her already? From Dead Alive, October release for 27,000 yen. This was displayed way back in Mega Hobby Expo in late October, sometime around that last year. So it took them quite a while to put her on pre-order. And 27k is really expensive, like way too expensive. I mean, you guys just saw that elegant figure of St. Louis minutes ago, where she comes with a couch, a sofa for 18,000 yen. This is a whole 9,000 yen more expensive. Yeah, this is expensive. Maybe because, yeah, you are getting a couch, so let's charge customers more. I wonder how long can Japanese companies keep getting away with this? If Chinese figure brands did not exist, then maybe I would have thought this figure is reasonable. But having seen that St. Louis figure earlier going for 18k, this thing over here shouldn't exceed 23, 24k maximum, right? Yeah, very detailed figure. I like the details on this figure a lot. Like, there are so many fine gold trims over here. Oh, the dress looks fabulous. Of course, those weaponry she holds, Kurumi's rifle and pistol, they look amazing. But regardless, I still feel this is on the expensive side. Well, Kadokawa being the license holder to so many anime and franchises, they can price things whichever way they want, right? We can't do anything about that. Moving on to the next one. Okay, from Classroom of the Elite, we have Honami Ichinose Competitive Swimsuit version by Hobby Stock. 23,000 yen at 1/6. Yeah, 1/6, 23k sounds reasonable. The thing is that this figure is not very detailed, right? This should be 26 or 27 centimeters tall, I think. 28. Oh, okay. Well, including the base, right? The figure should be around 27. What do you think? Is this for 23k acceptable? Well, I would say it is okay, but could have been slightly cheaper. I know I'm just nitpicking things at this point. And yeah, I would rather pick a figure of Ichinose in this swimsuit. I mean, the pose is quite attractive, you know. I love these body turn around poses. I love it a lot. I never get tired of them. I would rather have something like this over the one by Kadokawa. Did Kadokawa make one? I'm not too sure. Yeah, they made a number of other Classroom of Elite figures, those that were in school uniform, I think, and the figures were quite mid. Yeah, the Kadokawa figures of this anime series was really average. I sold them. I used to own the two-faced girl. What is her name again? Kushida Kikyo. I used to own that one. I sold it cheaply. Okay. This one is something I would love to photograph as well. I mean, just do a swimming pool diorama and she would fit right in very nicely. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have a premium resin statue coming from, wow, Full Wheel. Is this the first like super premium statue from Full Wheel? Moving on to the next one, we have something super premium coming from Full Wheel unexpectedly. This is something I would expect maybe Prime 1 Studio to make, but to see this from Full Wheel, I don't have the confidence, if I have to be honest over here. Like, Full Wheel's figure quality nowadays is extremely inconsistent. They are very erratic, right? And now they are making a life-sized bust figure of 8Gs from Persona 3 for 600,000 yen. That is 4 digits in US dollar. I'm just too lazy to convert it at the moment. It looks fabulous, of course. I mean, if we scroll through the pictures, most of the time I'm a bit unwilling to scroll, you know, not because I did not want to show you the pictures, but for those figures that are skimpily dressed swimsuit, it becomes a problem. Like, YouTube is finding faults with anime figures nowadays, right? Just for showing a bit more skin. Okay, this one, yeah, it looks amazing. This is like the centerpiece figure for any huge Persona fan, like the ultimate piece in your collection, right? Bust size, yeah, if this one turns out to be perfect, then it is worth picking up if you have the budget. The thing is that this is possibly the first super premium statue from Full Wheel. I don't think this is PVC at all. You can't make something this huge and heavy with PVC, you see. The parts like the arm, right? The arm will just sag downwards over time due to its own weight, and PVC is a relatively soft material. This is either resin or even polystone. I am guessing this is resin over here. Anyways, 600k for bust figure, no thank you. Would you get something that cost 600k from Full Wheel? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Moving on to the next one, the only FGO figure this week, Assassin Soji Okita, stage 1 by Q-Skill, 25,800 yen, coming out in December. I would say next year, right? Would be delayed. Okay, so Good Smile made a similar figure of Okita. I can't remember what stage is that, but when I see a Gundam backpack behind, yeah, it was the same character. Okay, that one was by Good Smile, and that version of Okita bargain bint like crazy. We are talking about 50-60% off. Yeah, I think a brand new unit was at least 40% cheaper compared to the official retail price. Pre-owned, if you don't mind, 60% off, which was insane. And that version of Okita is still widely in stock. If I have to be honest, I prefer the Good Smile version a bit more, maybe because I love that ufotable art style Good Smile has been applying on every Fate figure they make, even Scarhawk as well, you see, Mordred as well. They use the ufotable art style, and this Okita over here is more accurate to her original character design. Yeah, how do I put it? Something that doesn't look like ufotable. I don't know what to call it, right? Yeah. The art style is different. So some of you will prefer this figure over here for being more original. Yeah, I understand that. Of course, if I could, I want to buy both, right? But I'm not in a hurry. I still will consider this figure over here after release, of course. I'm hoping for bargain bin, you see. It happened to many FGO figures. Moving on to the next one, one of the highlights this week. Okay, this one went on pre-order more than a week ago. I think a week or 2 weeks ago in Taobao in China, the Genshin official store in China, and also pretty much across all Chinese sellers. She has already went on pre-order, and I have already pre-ordered my copy over there. Okay, so she has just begun pre-ordering in Japanese websites for the international market this week. Fuxian from Honkai Star Rail by Apex, 22,700 yen, which is very affordable. Well, I think affordable is the wrong word, more like reasonable, right? Yeah, Chinese brand Apex, they usually don't price their stuff too high, but when they do, you know that it is something special, like their New Jersey wedding dress version, which I also pre-ordered. I'm really looking forward to that, you know? This is a must-have, period. This is a must-have. Seriously, the very first genuine licensed Honkai Star Rail figure. Moving on to the next one, Alice in Wonderland, Akakura illustration by Union Creative, 25,000 yen. Now, while I may be a Disney hater, I'm not sure if hater is the right word, like I'm not a fan of the stuff. Maybe part of it is politics, the kind of the kind of stuff which I don't want to discuss too much on this channel. But for a concept art itself, based on the original Alice in Wonderland, I like this a lot. Right? I'm not sure if I am a fan of the face of this figure of Alice, but the way the character is designed, the color palette and everything, this is really nice, that pastel color. Do we have a closer picture of a face? I think this is the closest we can get. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like her face. This is purely an art style. But everything else, man, this is amazing. The shading on her apron is very heavy over here. Like this grey, faded purple shading. I like it. I like the paintwork over here. Let's hope Union Creative gets their quality control done right on this figure. 25k is not cheap. Yeah, not cheap, but at the same time, I wouldn't call it expensive, right? Somewhat reasonable, because Union Creative stuff, even though they are non-scale on paper, they are quite huge, if not mistaken. 26 centimeters, 1x7. Moving on to the next one, we have a self-proclaimed premium figure brand called Prisma Wing. They always overprice their stuff. This is no different over here. Raftalia young version, 35,000 yen. Now this is her child version, which means it is not a big figure, and just for giving us a diorama base, they are asking for 35,000 yen. I would say stay away from this thing. Yeah, 15 centimeters, you see. At least make it 1x6 scale if you are going to ask 35k from us. This is too much, man. We have faced problems again. Mostly because of viewing angle. From this angle, it looks a bit weird. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it doesn't look right. But when you rotate the figure around a bit, yeah, from this angle, it looks much better. One of those issues when you convert 2D art to a 3D object, sometimes it can look weird. Yeah, this angle looks better. Are we getting an LED inside the candle? Please give us that, but I don't think Prisma Wing would. Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend this, right? Don't buy this one. The thing with Raftalia is that there are other figures of her out there. Just search around, even hunt on Mercari, on Mandarake. Yeah, hunt for other figures of her, those that are already released. Yeah, there is no way they can insert LED in such a small object. Okay, moving on to the next one, Fire Emblem Elia from Intelligent Systems, which is the license holder to the Fire Emblem franchise. They are the only one making scale figures of this game so far. Is this too expensive? Yes, it is. But once again, just like Kadokawa earlier, these copyright holders, IP holders, right? They just do whatever they want. They have the rights to do so, right? But it is not good for us consumers. That's the problem over here. Very beautiful figure, full of details, and as usual, women, female characters, be shoujo with weapons, with sword, with cannon, doesn't matter what it is. I love it, right? But 30k, I doubt that any Fire Emblem fans would complain, you see, because number one, there are not many figures from this game to begin with, so they don't have much to buy. If every once in a while an expensive figure comes out, they would gladly pay for it. Yeah. I love the details on her armor. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Blue Archive Miyu. Observation of a Timid Person by Elegant, 22,000 yen. Okay, coming out in December. Now, there is one very simple reason why you should buy this as a Blue Archive fan, is because of the second faceplate, right? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, this one. I would totally display this figure with this faceplate over here, because I don't remember if there are any scale figures with this blur expression. I don't think there are any. Nendoroid, perhaps yes. Figma, maybe yes. Scale figure, yeah. I would display her with this expression over here. Overall, an excellent package. For 22,000 yen, I mean, there are a lot of stuff going on over here. She is sitting inside a bucket, or an ammo bucket, I think. Yeah, and yeah, binoculars, a tumbler around her right leg. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on for 22k. This is good value. I think so far we can tell that Elegance is giving us value, just like St. Louis earlier. Not my favorite character design in Blue Archive, but still I would tell you to go and get one if you love the series, right? Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is one of the cheapest wedding dress figures I've seen yet so far. Makise Kurisu from Steins Gate, just under 20,000 yen by Good Smile, coming out in December. This is more like it. Like, you know, a lot of figure brands out there, they abuse this wedding dress concept to cash in, to grab easy cash. Most of the time, wedding dress means a huge white dress, and it is quite easy to paint in general. Easy to paint, easy to assemble the figure. But because the parts are a bit larger than usual, they price it really high. 25k and above usually. I don't remember many wedding dress figures that go for below 25k unless we are talking about something from 5 or 10 years ago. So this is very nice of Good Smile to give us a decent figure of Makise Kurisu in a wedding dress for under 20k. Of course, my favorite is the one where she has a stack of computers behind her. Everyone praised that figure when it came out last year, you know. But this is not a bad purchase, yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have a few Kotobukiya figures, and then we move on to male characters, right? The first one here, we have Sky Striker is from Yu-Gi-Oh! Just under 19,000 yen. Yeah, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, it is a must-have. Military uniform, white hair, and a sword. Where have I seen this before? Yeah, Mato Seihei no Slave, an ongoing seasonal anime which I highly recommend. And then what else do we have? Akame ga Kill, the villain. It has a very similar character design but more mature looking. And what else? Yeah, Recreators Altair, which is their main antagonist. Amazing anime, no? Recreators, if you have not heard of it, you have not watched it, go and watch it. It is a bit like Fate Stay Night but in a modern setting and making use of manga characters instead of historical characters, right? I don't collect Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, but I still love this character design a lot. Okay, let's move on to the next one over here. Vermilio from Hell, an ongoing anime series as well. But just under 18,000 yen by Kotobukiya, coming out next year, January, 1 year away. So, here's a question for you guys, right? For flame effect parts like this figure over here, do you prefer it to be completely opaque like this figure? Or do you want something translucent, semi-transparent? Personally, I can't decide which is better, if I have to be honest. I don't know which is better. Oh no, plastic gods again. But I do appreciate Kotobukiya for being honest with us. Instead of hiding it like some other figure brands, they don't tell us, and then when you finally get the figure, yeah, surprise, there are 2 or 3 rods which you need to use or the figure might sag over time. I haven't watched this anime yet. I tried episode 1 and 2, I think. Not really liking it, even though there are a lot of praises for those who continued watching it. Well, expensive, high quality scale figures of anime characters don't come by very often, so you might want to pick one up if you like her. Right, moving on to the next one. Kotobukiya Art FXJ Mount Lady. Is it Mount? Mount Everest Mount Lady. Like, what is MT? Please let me know, because I know nothing about BNHA. I don't like shonen stuff in general. And literally, the only shonen anime I've been watching consistently every season is Demon Slayer. Okay, this is 17,000 yen. Lovely pose, very lovely pose. Now, is there a surprise plastic god on her right knee? I feel like there will be one. Let's go through the pictures over here. Yeah, there we go. It was so predictable. Very lovely pose. That is all I can say. Okay, moving on to the next one. 1/8 scale Art FXJ Satoru Gojo Hidden Inventory Premature Death version by Kotobukiya. 16,000 yen. What is up with Kotobukiya giving us so many figures with plastic gods this week? This is one as well, and we are now getting into male characters. Once again, because I don't watch shonen stuff, naturally I did not watch JJK as well. In general, they are good value. Are there any shading on the paintwork on his black color coat? I don't think so. You know all those bright and dark color shades we are looking at is just reflection from studio lights. I can tell that is a reflection, not shading at all. Okay, moving on to the next one. Kotobukiya Art FX JP3R. Oh, Persona 3, is it? Persona 3R protagonist. 16,450 yen coming out in July. You see, Kotobukiya is one of very few Japanese figure brands that can really rush things out at a very fast rate. In terms of manufacturing capacity, I think they are even way bigger than Good Smile itself. Totally a Persona character. You could not mistake their art style, right? It is very recognizable. Buy it. Unless you don't collect male characters, to Persona fans, buy it. Only 16,000 yen. Moving on to the next one from Bungo Stray Dogs with Osamu Dazai. Okay, age 15 version. I think this one was also from Mega Hobby Expo and One Fest. 18,000 yen by Kadokawa coming out in December. This is a pair with another figure which we'll get to in a moment. Now, the pose-wise, very attractive. Even if this is a male character, I mean the body turn pose I said earlier, which I really like. Yeah, this looks great. Wait, is this male or female? Bungo Stray Dogs, man, it has to be male, right? Did I watch it? No, I did not watch the anime either. That's the thing with anime, you know, you will never be sure. Okay, the shading on this is amazing. I mean, compare it to that JJK figure Gojo earlier. This one, there is shading, I can tell. Yeah, especially the sleeves over here. Can see some purple grayish shading. I would expect the same thing to apply to the rest of the figure. Moving on to the next one from the same series, Chuya Nakahara, 18,000 yen as well. Yeah, you need to buy both, you see. They are meant to be a pair, as you can see over here. Buying just one and not the other feels weird, right? They are a pair. 18k is okay. Okay, moving on to the next one over here. Okay, now we are moving into low-cost figure territory. The first one here, re-release of Luffy from Figu Arts Zero, just under 3,000 yen. It has been ages since the last time I saw a Figu Arts Zero figure going for this low. Yeah, because it is a re-release and in general, re-releases are quite cheap, right? Luffy, man. So many third parties, so many price figures. 3,000 yen can buy you a huge price figure even. Like, way bigger than Figu Arts Zero. And just because Figu Arts Zero tend to be more expensive than price figures, it does not necessarily mean that their quality is always higher, right? I don't trust Bandai that much when it comes to figures. Yeah, model kits, they are the very best, right? Model kits, Gunpla, they are the very best. But for figures, I don't trust Bandai that much, to be honest. Okay, moving on to the next one, Pop-Up Parade, Captain Tsubasa, Karl-Heinz Schneider for under 4,000 yen. Yeah, one of those things where you should wait until after release. Like, why would something like this become rare after release, right? No, not happening. Well, you could totally tell that how old the anime is because there is barely any detail on the sculpt of this figure. Moving on to the next one, okay, Statue Legend by Di Molto Bene. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but this is one of the lower tier figure brands. Like their stuff is... the QC can be an issue sometimes, right? This brand over here. Statue Legend of the World, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, 7,000 yen only. This is probably 1/10 scale if I have to guess over here. What is the height? 16 centimeters for male character is only 1/12. That is pretty expensive. Yeah, low cost when you look at the pure numbers, but 1/12 scale, 7,000 yen is expensive. Moving on to the next one from the same series of Dio. This guy is a walking meme at this point. 7,800 yen. This should be a bit taller, I think. Yeah, 18 centimeters. Alright, no comment, no comment. Moving on to the next one with Kirby. You see, if they did not give us that base over there, this thing would have to be sold at 1,500 yen, 1,000 yen, and Good Smile could not make any money from it, so they need to include something, right? I think this is a no-brainer for Pokemon collectors, I suppose. I am more of a Digimon guy. Moving on to the next one, Figure Arts Zero, again, Cotton Candy Lover Chopper. Re-released for 2,300 yen. Once again, this thing over here, whatever that is, it is something that a lot of third parties make as well, right? Moving on to the next one, Pop-Up Parade Basil from Omori. Same thing. With Pop-Up Parades, don't pre-order it, wait until after release, maybe unless it is a Hololive character. Everything else, don't pre-order. Very simple figure with barely any details. I don't like her hands at all. And the last figure on HLJ for today, Tenitol Itsuki from the Queen's Essential Quintuplets, 5,400 yen, coming out in August. So this is a part of the 5 sisters, and every single one of them is sitting on this dish of ice cream over here. I'm not really a fan of it. Like, you know, if there are 5 figures in a set, I want all 5 of them to look different, even though they are sisters, because I don't want the same thing over and over again in my collection. But of course, some people will beg to differ, like they want the set to look similar just for the sake of consistency, right? I'm the exact opposite of that. And that is all for figures on pre-order on HLJ at the time of recording. Now we move on to Ami for some exclusive items and also those that are not yet listed on HLJ. Okay, this is Kasugano Sora Ami exclusive by Alter. Man, this week it has to be Alter. Last week was Fat Company. We have an exclusive every week. This is sad. I don't like this actually, but 23,000 yen for such an amazing figure of Kasugano Sora from Alter. Man, I want one. I used to own a different China dress Kasugano Sora figure, also by Alter. I regretted selling that, but more on that figure in a separate video later on. Okay, so this one, I know that I am liking this figure for all the wrong reasons, but I am not ashamed of it to tell you that my favorite part of that figure is that nice Oshiri over there. Oh, that I like the backside over there. I mean the sculpt, right? The overall sculpt of the entire torso, the body all the way to the hips, the legs. Oh, that is very nice. Maybe I should pre-order one. It has to be Ami though. I really like this figure. Kasugano Sora is a meme at this point in the anime community for reasons you already know. I don't have to elaborate it. Yeah, get this figure. Buy it. Buy it. Okay, moving on to the next one. Just a quick mention. This figure, I covered it already on Ninin Game like a week or 2 weeks ago because this was a Kadokawa online exclusive or something like that. This wedding dress version of Taiga Aisaka. Right, I believe it is the same figure. It comes with the hood, yep, the same figure. So I covered this not too long ago. I'm not going to repeat it. At least this is 26,000 yen on Ami. So if you paid 30k on Ninin Game, maybe, hey, cancel your order there and get it from Ami. Yeah, well, saving 3,000 to 4,000 yen over here, which could be allocated for the shipping cost instead, you know. Moving on to the next one. This is one of the highlights this week, together with that Kasugano Sora earlier. HLJ for some reason have not listed it yet, even though this is not an exclusive. And in case you guys did not know, this is not a Kadokawa figure. Yeah, Kadokawa is putting their name over there just because they are the license holder, but the actual figure brand who manufactured this albedo over here is actually Animaster. Yes, this that is why this figure of albedo is so cheap at 23,000 yen. Most other genuine figures of albedo, they are quite expensive because of the wings, you know? Yeah, extra parts and so on. This one is so cheap because there is a reason for it. This is an Animaster figure, but given that Animaster is doing excellent work with their figures in general, they even make low-cost figures at 6,000, 8,000 yen. In fact, I think I would trust Chinese brands a bit more nowadays when it comes to genuine figures, you know? I haven't seen a single bad figure from them yet. There are those that are average and those that are excellent, but I mean, to come across a train wreck, Griffon Enterprise level, Forts Japan level, I have yet to see even one from genuine Chinese figure brands, right? So pick one up. This is an Animaster figure, which means it is quite promising actually. Now that translucent hair over there, this would be controversial. Some of you won't like it. Some of you will like the details and the shading. It almost feels like shading, right? But it isn't. I think it looks fine over here. It is quite attractive in a way. Also, if you look at the wings on this figure, right, the paintwork is excellent. The wings are black color, but at the edges of each feather over there, there is a slight blue color tinge. That is amazing. Full Wheel ask 30,000 yen, 40,000 yen for the albedo figures, and their wings don't even look like this. There is barely any shading on it. So this is excellent value, man. In fact, I would go as far to say this is one of the best buys this week. Go and pre-order it if you love albedo. The fact that she is being chained up and you can do anything to it, that is just the icing on the cake, right? Moving on to the next one, we have two low-cost figure by Aniplex. I don't think this is on any other website because it is an Aniplex Plus exclusive normally, but nowadays, Ami tend to carry Aniplex Plus exclusive items maybe a week or two after it went on pre-order in Aniplex, right? Okay, Konofik Muichiro Tokito from Demon Slayer, 7,500 yen. In general, I'm not a big fan of this Konofik series by Aniplex, which is supposed to be their affordable figure line because they are pretty expensive given their size. They are quite small. What is the size of this figure again? 16.5. Yeah, this is 1/12 scale over here. 7,500 yen is quite expensive. The same can be said to the second one over here, Mitsui Kanroji. But the good news is that there are many figures of both characters, right? Both of these characters, third party, genuine as well. I would say go for Mega House 1/8 scale or non-scale. Mega House made a figure of Mitsui Kanroji for around 22,000 yen or so. I don't think that one will become rare after release, so in case you forget to pre-order it, not an issue, I think. And the last figure on Ami Matsuno Nowa 2, illustration by Frank. 1/6 scale by Mingxiang's Toys, Chinese brand, obviously, 6,600 yen. So, we have another new brand. Well, this is not their first figure. I think they have around 3 figures on pre-order, this brand, Mingxiang Toys. Or Mengxiang Toys. Yeah, pre-order it. 6,600 yen, man, for 1/6 scale. For some reason, a lot of Chinese brands, they go on pre-order way later in Japanese websites. Like, maybe they have an exclusive over in China. There are more figures, more Chinese figures, really cheap ones coming. They are already on pre-order in China. And somehow, Ami and everywhere else have not placed them on pre-order yet, which is why I haven't covered it yet, but you might have seen the pictures on social media, for example. How did they get this figure down to 6,600 yen, man? Bro, I want one. I want one, man. Jeez. Even the face of this figure is quite attractive. When is she coming out? Man, she is missing out this year's Lunar New Year for sure. December 2024. If there is no delay, yeah, can buy this and celebrate Chinese New Year with it next year in February or late January. Okay. And that is all for Ami. Up next, Nin game. Okay, firstly, this Inside 1/4, 1/7 scale figures that are kind of edgy. Go and check it out yourself, right? I can't put them on screen. As for those that I can somehow, well, this one cropped to the face anyway. Creators Collection Original Hoshino Lily 1/6 scale by Rocket Boy, which is under native for 32,000 yen. Okay, so how do I describe this? It feels generic among edgy figures like, okay, she is wearing idol outfit or even maid outfit and then expose the important parts just like that. I've seen this so frequently already, so it no longer feels special to me. Moving on to the next one, okay, from Forts Japan and B-Full, we have maid idol Hijiri Rena-chan. This one surprisingly looks very safe, on the surface at least, right? $127 US because the website is bugging out as usual. That would be around 18,000 yen, I think. Okay, so I know that you can cast off the figure, like it is almost guaranteed at this point, just that it feels generic to me as well. It all depends on whether you like the character design. I have never owned or even reviewed a PMMA figure before. I heard that it is very lightweight, right? Interestingly. Yeah, I would love to have the opportunity to review one in the future. Is this cast-offable? Oh, I'm surprised that this is a safe for work figure, man. I have scrolled through every single figure and there are no indications of cast-offability. Okay, great. Okay, is there another more expensive version of this figure? Yes, there is a 1 by 4 scale, 198 US dollars. That would be around 27,000 yen or so. Yeah, this is normal. Forts Japan and before they do 2 scales of the same figure. This is very common practice among some third-party resin figures, but I wish that more genuine brands would do this, like the same exact figure, 2 different sizes. Moving on to the next one. Okay, for some reason, this is not on HLJ or Ami, or I might have missed it when scrolling through. Phoenix Tenitol. Still a Tenitol low-cost figure. You can get this pair of Ram and Ram figure, Yumekawa made version for 10,500 yen. We can buy them separately, of course, for 5,000 plus yen each, but why would you do that? You need both of them as a pair, as a set. Oh, 2 faceplates. That is a nice bonus over there. And please, can we stop with all these RAM figures? There are way too many of them already. Way too many, man. Oversupply. Okay, moving on to the next one. What do we have here? Forts Japan and Beeful again. 1 by 4 scale. Sweet Nurse Reiko. Okay, 27,000 yen. This is obviously an edgy figure, so I am not going to scroll through the pictures too much. I love her face. The face expression is excellent, but body proportions, not a fan of it. I've never liked figures like this, right? Moving on to the next one, we have something at 1 by 6 scale, yeah, cheaper, around 17,000 yen or so. Okay. And moving on to the next one, we have Binding Creator's Opinion Original Character Shino Urushibara 1 by 4 scale Bani version. Limited edition and bonus 42,390 yen. Like 1 by 4 scale prices nowadays are really absurd. Of course, YouTube's algorithm is not going to like this figure. Upon uploading, this video will be flagged as inappropriate and I have to appeal again, just like I do every week. So, hi human moderators, hi! Please tell a software engineer that their product, their AI, their software is behaving like a religious virgin who has never seen beautiful women before. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Original character, Beeful and Forts Japan again. Okay, this looks a lot like that Dosanko girl, which is an ongoing anime series. The anime itself is kind of mid, like very soft core, edgy anime, harem anime even, potentially. Looks a lot like her, both the face expression, the color of the hair, blonde hair, and even the body proportions, right? Yeah, this is a very attractive figure, even though I am not a fan of giant papayas on their chest. Yeah, as for that new blonde girl, which is like everyone's favorite waifu, that is just Marin Kitagawa Mark II, version 2. And this figure is really similar. Man, of course we are getting 1 by 4 scale at 27,000 yen and also 1 by 6 scale at 18,000 yen or so. Anyways, that is all for genuine figures I'm covering for this week. Which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below, and we shall move on to third-party resin figures making use of OzGK, which is this channel's affiliate partner. For resin figures I'm about to cover in today's news, there will be affiliate pre-order links down in the descriptions below. So make use of it if you are interested in any of them. Okay, before we move on to third-party resin figures, a quick mention of these two figures where I will cover in more detail once they go on pre-order in Army or HLJ, right? These are genuine figures. Magic Arts is a genuine figure. I like this one a lot. Like an office girl doing this stretch over here. This is really nice. This Kaishani Ika Takunai OL-chan. And also the other figure over here by Mieto's Azalen figure. These two are genuine figures, obviously. And these third-party sites, they tend to take pre-orders earlier than usual. No, those early bird pre-orders. But I am not covering it because I want to include them under the genuine figures section and making use of Japanese websites. Just for the sake of consistency, like every week my video has to be the same format so that it is easier to digest, right? Okay. Moving on to the first resin figure over here, we have a pair of Evangelion figures. RO Studio, we have Asuka. This is up to $979 US at 1/4 scale. Okay, so plan A, plan B, plan C. Why do you call a figure a plan? Version, I think. Version A, version B. Right, version A is $489. Version B, I see. Different versions. Alright. I personally would prefer them to make multiple listings for completely different figures. So which one is version A? I assume this is version A over here. And for under $500, you're getting a 1/4 scale Asuka and that cockpit or whatever pilot seat she is sitting on, man. That is great value. Plan B, $440. Okay, this is not so worth it in comparison, right? I mean, Asuka in purple jersey, I have a 1/7 scale by Alter, and that one looks way better than this face over here, realistic face. And what is Plan C? Something edgy? Plan C is $319. There are no pictures, I think. Oh, Plan C is standing barefoot. I see. I think they have not fully uploaded all the pictures yet. Supreme version and Emperor version is where you buy 2 or 3 figures at once, which explains the $979 pricing. Okay, let's have a look at the pictures. Woo. The bodysuit is so striking, man. This is not what her bodysuit looks like in anime, right? I feel like I'm looking at Iron Man or Iron Woman in this case. Yeah, it looks really metallic over here. Yeah, this is the original bodysuit in the anime, in the movie. Alright. Oh, very nice backside. And she comes with an anime style head too. And this one looks great, man. This is amazing. Okay. Nowadays, a lot of third-party brands, they actually include 2 heads. They no longer just give you the realistic version because a lot of people don't like it, myself included. And I am really glad that they are listening to feedback of us, the customers, right? They have to if they want to sell more figures. In fact, why even do this realistic face in the first place? Even if they don't do this face, I believe they will still sell really well. Moving on to the next one from Feimania Studio, we have Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Okay, this comes in 1/6 and 1/3 scale, Dolphy scale, 1/6 scale, $163 US. Okay, and there is white short hair, black short hair. The black doesn't look good at all. And then we have white long hair. Yeah, this one over here, I feel like I'm looking at a pop-up weight XL figure. This is $194, and then realistic version $229, and 1/3 scale over here $609. But is it only black color? Okay, let's look at the bottom here. 1/3 scale PC version, double head, luminous base, platinum silicone plus touch paint, chest replacement parts, white randomly sent. What? So it is a gacha now. I buy the figure, I might get a white one, I might get a black one for the replacement parts. What the heck? Anyways, this looks a bit plain and boring. Moving on to the next one, we have 2 Honkai Star Rail figures this week. This is Black Swan by Mongo Studio and Gentleman 18 Studio. The one you're looking at is actually the high-end version, $192. And then regular version, which is completely Hadaka, about $159 if I remembered correctly. And extreme version, you get both for $279. But I don't really like the face of this figure that much. Yeah. Is this the actual character design? I need to check out the actual artwork, but I'm not a fan of the face all the design of this figure over here. Moving on to the next one, we have Kiana Herschel from Honkai Impact 3rd. Oh, this is Honkai Impact, not Honkai Star Rail. Okay, by Arctic Wolf Studio, they make great stuff. $276 is very expensive actually for 1/6 scale. Maybe we are getting extra parts, right? Of course we are, those Hadaka parts. Then in that case, $276 is actually pretty reasonable. This figure of Kiana, I won't scroll because the next few pictures are not really safe, I think. Or they did not upload the Hadaka version, I think. Yeah, they did not upload it yet. Okay, this figure is great looking. If you like this figure, I would suggest you to pre-order early because we don't know when pre-order will close. I'm telling you right now, this is one of my best sellers this week. I have made at least 8 or 9 affiliate sales already on this figure from my Facebook page alone. Yeah, this is a really good seller. Moving on to the next one, I think we have 2 or 3 figures from One Piece over here. This is Robin by FXW Studio. $141 US. Yeah, One Piece stuff, they are quite cheap in general. 31 centimeters tall at 1/6 scale. But this is a really simple figure in the end. I really like the blue color, whatever that is called. Scarf, is it? A scarf? Yeah. Like the figure is really blends in color otherwise without that scarf. It looks amazing. Woo. Yeah, 31 cm, there you go. Very tall 1/6 scale over here. In fact, I'm liking it quite a bit after looking at this close-up pic over here. I think One Piece fans should buy this one. It is only $141 after all. Moving on to the next one, we have Bonnie. Okay, One Piece Egghead. What? Egghead from GG Studio. Okay, there is a purple color version over here and a blue color. Oh, blue looks amazing. $131. Yeah. Why do I feel like I'm looking at Bonnie dressing up as Uraraka Ochako in some way? It feels that way to me somehow. Oh, oh, this is really nice. I like the blue color version so much more, man. Okay, moving on to the next one from TH Studio, we have One Piece Angel Advent Seraphic Robin. So this is also Robin. Okay, so regular version solid color. Without the wings, of course. $100 only. Semi-transparent? What do they mean by semi-transparent? Oh, the effect parts. Okay, okay. Once again, yes, the effect parts. This is the opaque version and this is the transparent version, which I think looks better. But why would you go for the regular version, right? I mean, save up longer and go for this one. It almost looks like a Digimon to me in some way. Seraphimon or Magna Angimon, you know? Oh, deluxe version, semi-transparent. This is my favorite version. Only $227. It is a really good price, you know? This is huge at 1/6 scale. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, 1/6 scale, I think. Can't be 1/4. It would be a lot more expensive. Moving on to the next one, we have Himeno from Chainsaw Man by We Are a Design Studio. What kind of name is that? Anyways, this is going for... Oh, regular version is $240 and deluxe version is only an additional $19. What are they including? Okay, so Hadaka version is only an additional $20. Okay. It kind of tells us, right, the profit margin of these figures. They are probably not too expensive to manufacture. I do think Himeno deserves more justice. Like, are there even any genuine figures of her? I'm sure there are, like Pop Operates at least. But third parties not that many, right, compared to the sheer number of Makima and Power figures out there. Face looks amazing though over here, but this is not a very detailed figure. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have 3 or 4 Genshin figures this week. The last one is an edgy figure, so I'm pushing it all the way to the end of the video. Okay, for the first 3 over here, IJN Studio, we have Xian Yun Cloud Retainer. Normal version, $239 at 1/6 scale. Hadaka version with normal version, $296. Okay. For IJN Studio, they are one of the better third-party figure brands out there. Yes, I have confirmed it. I have some photos of their actual products, you know. those that came out of factory, they are really good looking. So if you were to ask me, can I trust IJN Studio? The answer is yes. This is one of the few brands where you can go for without thinking twice, right? Yeah. And perhaps this is possibly the first Xianyun figure that looks decent at least. One of the very first out there, and whew, I really wish that they would just stop with this Chinese furniture thing, which is so overdone nowadays. Even the genuine brands are doing it. Moving on to the second Genshin figure, we have something realistic looking, but who knows, they might give us an anime face as well, you know? This is early bird pre-order, I think. Oh no. This is the actual price, but we only have one picture over here. IJN Studio and Shengge Studio. Bathroom Mate Raiden Shogun 449 for the deluxe version, of course. Regular version would be 349. Deluxe version must be Hadaka, right? This is actual product picture. This is not a CG render, I can tell. So this is coming out in September. As a figure, purely as a figure, this is really attractive to me. Of course, I don't like the face, but putting that aside, solely as a figure, yeah, I love this a lot. I have always been a fan of gutter belts, you know. Moving on to the next one. Okay, once again, realistic face Ganyu from Black Diamond Studio. The price is not yet confirmed. This is not the final price, so I would be too lazy to read out the pricing over here. This must be the daily version, is it? Yeah, this is the daily version over here. And this is the R18 version. Well, third-party brands, they have always been really good at sculpting the body. But the face, please give us an anime version at least. Not just this one, I don't like it. Moving on to the next one, we have another Ganyu figure. Okay, so this pose has been done so many times that there was even a Thanos figure with this pose over here, right? It was hilarious by a third party, of course. So this Ganyu over here, I would say it is a must-have. $117 only. And if you want a Hadaka version, you have to buy the same figure twice, right? $117 each. So if you buy both, that would be around $240, which is not too bad. Yeah. The face of this figure actually looks great. I'm putting it on screen over here. Yeah. So as long as they get the face done right, Fenghua Studio is actually okay. Their figures are not the most detailed I've seen. I have seen the actual product pictures as well. They get the faces on their figures done right. So with this studio, don't have to worry too much. Go for it, right? In fact, at this price, I'm thinking of getting one myself. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. From CR Studio, we have Genshin Impact Q version Sango Nomiya Kokomi at $96. Okay. CR Studio. I am getting more and more information to see. The more I cover these third-party resin figure brands, I go through their factory pictures and so on, and I'm getting more knowledge, so I'm sharing it with you guys over here. CR Studio specifically, their chibi figures are beautiful, right? I'm going to cover it in a separate video where we will review multiple factory photos, right, from figure brands. But I have confirmed that CR Studio makes amazing figures as well. So if you are into this kind of chibi figures, which I myself am not a big fan of, go and pick one up because these are way larger than androids, right? Yeah, 13 centimeters, but remember, she is kneeling, right, on the floor. A standing figure of this Genshin Impact cute figure by CR Studio is normally around 18 centimeters or so. 16 to 18. This one is 13 simply because she is kneeling on the floor. So they are a lot bigger than androids, right? $96 sounds about right for this one. Moving on to the next one. This is my least favorite figure this week, I think, because the face looks really weird. Merlin from the Deadly Seven Sins by Kitsune Statue Studio. 1/6 scale, but $597 because you are paying double just because of the base. But putting the price aside, even if this was $300, I mean, looking at the face over here, it looks really weird. Something is not right over here, so I would advise against buying this figure of Merlin. Yes, I know there are not many figures of Merlin out there from the 7 Deadly Sins, but to burn over $500 for a face like this, no. Please don't do that, right? $500 can buy you way better figures than this Merlin over here. Moving on to the next one, the only Fate figure from third parties this week. This is excellent value as long you don't mind the realistic face over there, right? Starriness Studio Saber. This is 1x3 scale. 1x3, Dolphy size, $507. And you get tons of detail to enjoy. Whew. In fact, it feels like they might have overdone it, the amount of details, but I suppose that at this asking price, why not, right? Just because of the face alone, there is no chance I would buy something like this. If it came with an anime face, it would be a different story, which I don't think is included over here because there are no pictures of it at all. So I would assume this is the only face you're getting. And the size of this figure, or rather a statue at this point, 68. Quite a shame. 1 centimeter away from 6'9". Okay, so will you buy something like this for $500? 1x3 scale. Hey, you guys, the Fate series fans might be interested in something like this. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is an early bird pre-order. Please don't be scared by that $900 price point over here because that is probably buying like 2 or 3 figures, right? Okay, Peach Studio, we have Bronya from Honkai Impact 3rd. Oh, I just noticed her post over there, which is interesting. There we go. Something edgy, right? I think the regular version of this figure where she is wearing stockings would be quite attractive. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing more pictures once they are being released by the studio. Moving on to the next figure, we have 3 figures from Freerun over here. Seems like the third parties are starting to pick up things like they noticed how popular the anime is. It is a top ranking in anime list, I heard, but you know, those rankings never meant anything to me. Like, it is just fanboys, fangirls fighting each other like, oh, I want my favorite anime to be the top ranking for no good reason, right? It is just insecurity. Like, some people, they are so insecure about themselves that they have to try really hard to justify what they like, what they prefer is the best thing ever. I really never understood this kind of behavior. Okay, moving back to this figure over here by Paper Plane Studio. $327, which is amazing considering what you're getting over here. Freerun sitting at the hero's tombstone, I assume. Right? $337 is good value. The only problem is I don't like her face. It looks really weird, her face over here. It almost looks like a slightly more matured version of Freerun. It looks more matured, and I don't like it. The tombstone is amazing. It is such a waste, you know. This figure has more potential. Oh no. Are the eyes misaligned? Maybe it is just a viewing angle problem, or maybe because her head is, you know, tilted sideways a bit, but I don't think I can suggest this figure of Freerun. Yeah, there are better third-party figures of her. Moving on to the next one. This is 1x5 scale. Woo! That is big. Okay, by Huanlong Studio. Regular version would be $161 only. Okay, this thing is huge. Why is it so cheap? Because this figure is lacking in detail. It is so obvious, right? And the face is kind of weird as well, don't you think? Yeah. Which is my favorite Freerun figure so far. I have forgotten the name of the studio. There was one that looked pretty decent. The 2 Freerun figures we're getting today is really mid. Like, I cannot recommend them at all. Like, even if this is only $161, it is still hard-earned money, and I wouldn't want you to spend your hard-earned money on something so mid. Yeah. And the third figure from So No Freerun is Fern, right? And man, she is really showing off those big mummy mulkies. I have to cover it because it is too much for YouTube's Virgin AI. Regular version A is $259. Version B is Hadaka, should be slightly cheaper. And deluxe version, you get both for $350. Now, if you really want to enjoy Fern this way, like everything exposed, then yes, this one is quite an okay purchase for the price. And this is what her face looks like. It is so obvious, isn't it? This is so much better than the other two figures of Freeman I just covered. Yeah, this is great. If they could deliver, like this is exactly what we get, then yeah, this is an amazing purchase. Just that I'm a bit concerned by the blush she has on her face. That is very crucial on this figure. It is very important. A lot of figures, right, between the prototype, the product pictures, and the final product, they lose detail mainly in the lips, the lipstick painting, and also the blush on the face. So I really wish that they would preserve everything we're looking at in this picture over here. That would be for the best, and it would boost the reputation of this studio over here. Moving on to the next one, this is my favorite third-party resin figure this week. And at only $469 at 1x4 scale, I would be lying if I were to say I'm not tempted. IJN Owari from Azur by ABsinthe Studio. Yeah, we have a hanging fruit over there which I have to cover up just to be safe. Though she is technically wearing something in front, but anyways, I am not going to scroll through the picture. I am debating myself, should I pre-order this? I actually want it. The only issue is I'm trying to cover as many different figure brands as possible in the third parties. Like, I want to know which brand is good, which isn't. And I already have 2 figures by ABsinthe Studio on pre-order. I should be going for other figure brands, not buying another figure from the same brand. But this is making me... it is making the decision really hard. Should I get one? Please let me know down in the comments below. Though I'm certain you guys will try very hard to convince me to pre-order it. Yeah. This won't sell out in 1 day or 2 days. I'm going to take a few days and think carefully. Should I go for it? Then I'll decide. Maybe in a week or 2 start. As usual, I think I will spend a few days trying to decide whether to go for it. Because even if I buy something this amazing, can I review it on YouTube without getting into trouble? That is a concern over here. Yeah. Of course, the want factor is there. It is really strong on this one. Next one, we have something from Ghostblade Haichin Yen Pale by Lightyear Studio. This might be a licensed figure, I'm not too sure, because Ghostblade is something of Chinese origin, and a lot of the figures I've seen so far, they are all licensed stuff, right? Very artistic. Not my kind of figure though. Oh, she comes with that mirror. I want that mirror. Do you know how amazing that mirror would look if I place it next to Artoria Pendragon from Fate Grand Order, especially the Lancer version? Like, it would fit right in perfectly. I want that mirror. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is also one of the highlights this week. Fallen Angel Studio. Are their stuff good? Yes. Go and check out pictures of their 1x6 scale Cyberpunk Lucy figure. It almost feels like, the accuracy, right, of the sculpt, the face sculpt on the anime version face, it looks really accurate. Like, it is exactly what I saw in the anime. So this is a studio you can trust actually. And if you are cringing because this is a realistic face version of Mythra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the good news is that there is an anime version. And not just the battle suit version, even the swimsuit version looks amazing, man. Yeah, normally I would tell you to go for the battle version only because that is what that makes the most sense. But for this one, hey, buy both, right? Because the swimsuit version is not some lazy attempt like just give her a bikini and call it a day, which is what many resin figure brands do. They actually put in effort on the swimsuit version design over here. Well, since I don't have $1,000 for a statue, for a figure, just let me admire the pictures for a second. And just in case, let me inform you that this is a best-selling figure in OzGK for this past week. I do have access to their insider information on the statistics on what is selling, what isn't, right? Yeah, this one is a best seller. The realistic face is not nice at all, but don't worry. It is already confirmed that even this battle version will get an anime version face, right? If you want to be safe, instead of going for the cheapest version over here, which is 599 for the Battle Suit version, you go for the one with 2 heads over here. Battle Suit plus CG head for 679. Yeah, we are waiting for the pictures. The pictures have not been released yet. Yeah, but after seeing the swimsuit version, I'm certain she will look fabulous, man. Yeah, this swimsuit version over here. So if you have the money to drop, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Moving on to the next one, we have Bocchi the Rock, Hitori Goto. Though this version of Hitori Goto looks really weird. Right? This is too cheerful to be Hitori Goto. Hitori Goto has social anxiety issues. And I think it is also too tall. This looks more like an adult version of Hitori Goto. The legs are too long, I think. She doesn't look that tall, right? My answer to this figure is very simple. It is a no, because this is so out of character. This is not the Hitori Goto I know. So I cannot recommend this figure of her over here. Finally, the last 2 figures for today, cultured stuff. Right? So I'm just going to go through them very quickly. Go and check out the figures yourself. The first one here, I can only show their faces for very obvious reasons. Okay, Lao Wang name May Studio, last origin of the double life of La Beata, whatever that means. So poetic. Okay, so these are giant cow figures. Go and check them out yourself, right? I can only show the face. And finally, we have a figure of Nilo from Genshin Impact, made by Arctic Wolf Studio, going for up to $229. That is the deluxe version. The standard version cost almost half as much. So this is excellent value. If you want a figure of Nilo, craving for some German sausages, then yeah, pick one up. This is good value, good purchase over here. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Man, I am so exhausted after talking for almost 2 hours, including mistakes which I need to crop off. So editing this video today is going to be hell, right? Yeah, I'm just doing my job over here, my obligation, because I have decided to cover figure news every week. It is quite popular, you guys are watching it, so why not? Which figure are you pre-ordering this week? For me, that 1x4 scale IJN Owari, man. That is so hard to resist. Yeah. On the genuine figure side, I would say my number 1 figure for the week would be the Ami exclusive Yasugano Sora. And yeah, St. Louis by Elegant from Azalane, that is a close second place. So this would be my top 3 figures this week. Which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.